As escalate in Gaza. Civilians have nowhere to flee. Tel Aviv. The Israeli army announced that it has entered third phase of the ground operation against Hamas in Gaza Strip. Israeli Defense Forces troops surrounded and entered Khan Yunis, the key city of Gaza in the south. Here they suspect senior Hamas commanders are hiding behind the group's bloody terrorist attack on October 7. But intensity IDF's air and ground warfare in Gaza has led United Nations officials, humanitarian agencies and even families of some 138 Israeli hostages still believed to be held in Gaza to call for a new ceasefire. Israeli left activists held a demonstration near the Ministry of Defense in Tel Aviv on December 5, 2023. Calling for a ceasefire and hostage exchange amid the war between Israel and Hamas. Marco Longariafp. Some of the desperate families took their concerns directly Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his war cabinet on Tuesday. But they told CBS News they were met by a government determined to continue its mission destroy Hamas. Israel's attack on the Palestinian militant group, which has ruled Gaza for almost 2 decades despite being designated a terrorist organization by the United States, Israel and many other countries, focused on Khan Yunis. The UN estimates that most of Gaza's 2.3 million population have been forced to flee their homes, first driven by Israeli orders from the northern half of the southern Palestinian enclave to areas including Khan Yunis, but now ordered evacuate that area. City immediately. Aid agencies have pleaded with Israel to halt or at least stop the offensive, as it did for a week under a temporary ceasefire agreement with Hamas that allowed the release of dozens of hostages in exchange for Israel releasing more than 200 Palestinian prisoners. This also enabled more humanitarian aid to enter Gaza from Egypt. But institutions doing this work have made clear that this is not enough. And since the ceasefire collapsed on December 1, flow of aid has again come to a trickle. Josep Borrell, the European Union's foreign policy chief, said in a social media post on Wednesday that he had received an alarming call from United Nations humanitarian chief Martin Griffiths and that he had been informed because of the ING. In the south of Gaza, where there are many victims and great destruction, the UN will not be able to continue its activities unless an immediate ceasefire is reached. UN Relief Chief worrying call from Griffiths. He informed me that due to the INGs in southern Gaza, which caused so many victims and so much destruction, the UN could not continue its activities unless an immediate ceasefire was achieved. Conflicts must stop at the request of the UN. Josep Borrell Fontelles December 5, 2023. The hostilities must be stopped upon the request of the UN, Borrell said. As Israeli forces push deeper into southern Gaza, aid agencies say Palestinian civilians have nowhere to escape the onslaught. UN Human